Hey, it's Sabby here with How to Tilt Brush, Part 1, Episode 6. In this episode, I will go over the More panel on the palette controller. I'll start with the 12 preset environments, and then show how to control the lighting in your scene, how to customize your backdrop and add atmosphere, how to resize and reshape the guides, and then review the poly library. So let's get to it. There are 12 preset environments. The standard environment is the first environment when starting a new sketch. It comes with a circular platform as the ground, with hills set in the back. The origin center is marked with a small raised platform. Night sky has the same ground setting, but adds a star-filled skybox with speckles of stars. Space gives you that same star-filled skybox, minus the ground setting, but it adds a sun and a moon within the environment. Dress form is an environment similar to the standard environment, but with a dress form model in the middle. When you spawn the mirror tool, it goes directly to the middle of the dress form, which is really handy when designing symmetrical clothing. The pedestal environment comes with a standard environment ground, but with a pedestal in the middle. The origin point is right on top of the pedestal, which allows guides and imported images to snap right to the middle. This is a great environment for showcasing your masterpiece. The snowman environment has a snowman ready to be decorated, snowy hills, and snowflakes falling from the sky. It's so serene. This can be a fun and simple scene to let beginners practice working with models in the scene. These preset objects are permanent in their respective environment, but if needed, you can cover the objects with your art, or you can isolate the object and block out the background. Pink lemonade, pistachio, illustrative, black, white, and blue are all plain environments, meaning that they come without a ground setting or objects, and they have various skybox color combinations. Each preset environment comes with its own preset lighting, which can also be customized. Check the lighting settings of the environment by clicking the lights button with the sun icon. The lighting panel will pop out, and here under light color, there are 3 light sources you can adjust. The main light, which is the strongest light, is represented by the sun and can be positioned with the 3D sun object. While holding the trigger down, move it to any spot around the sphere. The sphere in the middle shows a preview of the direction of the light source and how it will look on your lit surfaces in your scene. I use this to position the sun for sunrise lighting or a mid-afternoon look. The secondary light, which is not as strong as the main light, is more of a reflection of a light source onto your subject and is represented by the moon icon. This light source direction can be controlled by positioning the 3D moon object around the sphere. This lighting is great to use when you need lighting on your subject that might be next to a neon street sign, for example. The fill light, which has no icon, fills the shadowed areas in your scene. Adjust this lighting effect by clicking on the fill light button, and a color palette will appear. Use the bar slider to select your color. Just click the slider and hold the slider as you slide the bar up or down. You will see the names of the colors displayed on the button's label. You can see the color in the preview box on the bottom. Just release the trigger to select the color. Once you start moving the selector around, the light source will change to the new color, and you can see these changes in real time in your scene. Use the undo button on your palette controller's thumb pad to go back to previous colors, or save your colors on your palette by clicking one of the plus buttons. You can save up to 7 colors, which are accessible from all color palettes, including the secondary light, the main light, and your main brush palette on your palette controller. Use the fill light to soften shadows and create a variety of looks in your scene. Lighting is everything. The preset environments can also be customized by using the backdrop panel. Just click on the backdrop panel and the panel will pop out. Here you can change the skybox color from top to bottom. The top color button with the plus sign controls the color at the top of the environment, as represented by this plus sign on the 3D sphere. The color button with the minus sign controls the color below the x-axis of your environment. To change the colors, just click on the color box. The palette will open, then choose your colors. Use the colors you saved on your palette, or you can choose new ones. The x-axis of the sphere is where the two colors will blend together, which I call the blend line. Press and hold the trigger button to grab a hold of the sphere and angle it to change where the blend line appears in the sky. In my fall mountain cabin scene, I angled the blend line to create a sweeping sunset in the sky. Preset environments with a custom skybox texture can be adjusted by clicking Customize Skybox from within the environment. When you click the Customize button, both the night sky and space environments lose the space theme texture, but the stars remain in the space environment, and the snowman scene loses the sky and clouds texture. To reset these backdrops, the environment will need to be reloaded. Create atmosphere by adjusting the fog slider from 0 to 100%. This adds a foggy effect to the scene. The preview box shows the effect of the percentage you choose. When objects are in the distance, they are more affected by the fog levels. Choose the color of the fog by clicking on the preview box. Make the distant hills look like an alien planet. Or change the color of your snowman in the snowman environment from serene winter scene to not so serene scene. It affects the way some of the brush strokes look, specifically the lit surface brushes. The special effects brushes are generally not affected by the lighting and fog levels. Watch Tilt Brush Experiments, Measuring File Load of All Brushes, Part 1 of 2, where I discuss each brush in detail and organize them into lit and unlit surfaces. Guides are useful when you need accuracy and a flat surface to paint on. Click the Guides button and the guide panel will pop out. There are 3 shapes: the sphere, cube, and the pill or capsule-shaped guide. Grab them and move them by intersecting them and holding the grip button down. They can be grabbed with both controllers for more accuracy when positioning them. They can be resized overall by gripping it with one controller, then insert the other controller inside the guide and press and hold the grip buttons. Move the controllers away from each other to enlarge the guide or closer to each other to shrink the guide. This preserves the shape of the guide as it is being resized. To reshape the guide, grip it with one controller and with the other controller, click the grip button near the surface that you want to grab and you will see it highlighted. Then press and hold that controller's grip button and reshape the guide. The sphere guide can only be resized to be smaller or larger. The cube guide can be reshaped from its 6 sides. The capsule guide can be reshaped from 3 sides. Position the guides in place, and once you are close enough, the brush tip will snap to the guide surface. As you paint, the guide will enlarge slightly with each brushstroke. The brushstrokes do not blend together, and so instead, they create layers on top of each other, like you would see on a papier-mâché piñata. Use the whole guide or portions of it for a custom shape. Combine the guides for various surface angles or enlarge and use a portion of the sphere guide for smooth curves. When you want to paint beyond the guide's surface, but want the guide to stay in its place for future use, toggle it on and off with the I button. This button turns all guides on and off at the same time. Snap the guide to the axis by gripping it, then pressing and holding the thumb pad down. Position it in place and use the pin tool to pin it in place. There are 2 modes when using the guides. I call them snap mode and selected mode. The snap mode is when the guide is not selected with the selection tool. In this mode, the guide can be grabbed and snapped to the axis with the thumb pad lock function. In the selected mode, the guide is selected with the selection tool and can be copied with the thumb pad's copy function when intersecting the guide. Once the guide is copied, deselect it by pressing the trigger button once. The snap mode does not apply when brushstrokes are copied. Stay tuned for part 2 of this How to Tilt Brush tutorial series to learn more about how I use the guides in my art process. The Poly Library button will spawn the Poly Library panel into your workspace. This panel is where you can find models to use in your scene from the Poly website. Explore the Featured Models tab to find selected models from the Poly website. Open the Liked Models tab to find models that you liked, or open Your Models tab to find the models that you uploaded. The preview window shows the model slowly turning and reflects the current lighting in the scene. Click on the model of your choice and it spawns into your workspace. Watch How to Tilt Brush main menu buttons and Poly website tutorial to learn more about the Poly website and adding models to your scene for a quick scene build. Link is in the description and it takes you to the Poly website section of the video. Join me in the next video to learn about the color palette and review all the types of brushes currently available in the Tilt Brush version 20. For more VR art live performances and entertainment, join the growing community of VR artists and audience in the VR Art Live Discord or on Facebook. Links are below. Alright, take care and I'll see you in the next video.